It's time for our second game of Group A here for the European Minor. We have 8 teams, and already one has fallen on cobblestone. We played our first game, and we did actually get to witness Space Soldiers forging a spectacular comeback versus alternate attacks. Now we venture into a different game. It's going to be Godsent going up against LDLC, and there is a lot to look forward to. As always, I'm your host, Alex Machine Richardson. I'm joined by Vendetta and Natu. And you guys can hopefully outline to the guys at home what we have to look forward to here. LDLC, arguably the lesser-known team into this one, but not necessarily with some lesser-known names. But I'll let you set the scene for LDLC, Halvor.
Yeah, so LDLC, obviously, the new project, really, for existence after getting left out of the last shuffle between the French teams. And he's picked up, a couple of up-and-coming French players. You have XMS, who we saw for Millennium, actually, at Aces ROG. Back in August, who's with time actually just getting better and better, shown to be a capable fragger as well. You have Toynu, who's been in LDLC and Platinum and so on previously, and also done a pretty okay job there.
He got left out too, right? I mean, his Body and Devil got picked up by big
he was probably third on the shopping
exactly
list.
Yeah. So like a lot of the names that have been around for a while but never really had the chance to play under a guy like Existence, which I think is going to be beneficial for Existence. He gets to have full confidence from his teammates. They're just going to rely solely on what he says, and the 4 others actually have the opportunity to learn a lot on how to play like a proper CS.
I mean, it is a battle of the in-game leaders, of course. Godsent featuring another historical name now too.
Yeah, Pronax is definitely known for having a good knack for picking the right strategy in the right round, kind of a leader, right?
Yeah, but very good at reading.
The big issue obviously with Godsent overall is that they just don't seem to have found the flow. What do we do? I mean, they thought they have the foundations of an old dominant lineup that they can just go to the good old stuff and everything would work out beautifully. But it's a great testament that sometimes it doesn't work that way. And now we've seen when that shuffle happened between Fnatic and Godsent, everyone thought Godsent was going to be the winner. It was evident to everyone.
It looked clear.
It definitely did, but it's not as clear as it seems like. And now Crim's going back to Fnatic, Lekro back to Godsent, and I'm guessing what they want out of Lekro is for him to be. We discussed this in the pre-show that they've been lacking on the entry fragging department. I guess that's what they want to have from Lekro.
He has to be that fiery presence within Godsent. Well, without further ado, let's meet them. It is the ever-troubled Godsent. Let's bring them up and look at those 5. Such a scary group of names. Unable to translate it directly into success, though. That has been the kind of primary purpose of Godsent, was to just go ahead, shuffle things up, and kind of replicate what they were capable of under the Fnatic name. And it hasn't been such an easy transition. JW and Flush are 2 huge names alongside Pronax that we have seen at the highest of heights within CSGO. And I don't know. I don't think anyone has an answer as to why it hasn't been an easy transition.
It's been a lot of things. I think mainly probably the biggest factor of it all is, first off, it's been turbulent in terms of just how much time they've had to work the kinks out, but also the fact that individually they haven't been performing at the same level as they did during their height. I think with the exception of Flusha, a lot of the other players in that lineup haven't been too impressive. Crim's had a significant drop compared to what he did in Fnatic. In the Fnatic lineup, same thing with JW. JW had a bit of a cliff dive, really, in terms of performance, and he hasn't really bounced back. You see it every now and again with Godsent that he has a couple of good games, but it's not nearly as consistent as you would have expected. And when you don't have at that point, an Olaf Meister, for instance, to bail you out of a lot of situations, you end up losing rounds, and that ends up stacking up when you play a lot of games.
I think what they need is more structure in their gameplay. Like you alluded to there, the fact of the matter was that they had players like Olaf and also JW at the time who would bail them out on so many times in situations where they didn't have a lot of time, but they would get that entry somewhere and then work things out from there on out. But now they're not getting that, so what you need to have is something to fall back to, and that's structure, basically, having more set executes, having a certain game plan you're going in with.
Yeah.
And of course, not only Pronax is maneuvering these 5 around, we also have a battle of the brains. It could very well be a game of chess, because Existence and his 4 merry men are about to go ahead and prepare themselves for battle. The Wolves of LDLC standing up against Godsent. Looking good, ready to rock and roll, and managing to get through this qualifier after a couple of turbulent events. Natu, you were witnessing their first attempt to get through that qualifier. They put so much into trying to get... I mean, the storyline is there was some driving involved, there was power cuts.
Yeah.
I mean, LDLC managed to get here through thick and thin.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was Alex who... There was a power shortage in this whole city or
village,
wherever he lives, and his father drove him to his aunt's place, I think it was,
or
or grandma's or
grandma,
something like that, which was apparently like an hour drive.
Like, just chucking a game
happened to take like 30 minutes. Normally an hour drive took about 30 minutes.
Yeah, well, yeah.
There wasn't Formula 1 driving going on there.
Hoping no police listening to this.
Absolutely not.
From the local department over there.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
I mean, they worked hard to get here.
Definitely.
And this is, of course, through the qualifier. They came... Godsent were invited. LDLC qualified to get to the minor, to get to the qualifier, to get to the major. It's such a long journey ahead of them. However, it starts here versus Godsent. It also starts with the veto. These guys are going to be battling down to just one map, best of ones to start us off here. The first 2 games within each group. Of course, there is a group being played parallel to this one. Group B is going down on a secondary stream. You'll be able to find the links over on the internet somewhere. But let's start talking maps, boys. A best of 1. They're up on our screen now already. It looks like we can kind of navigate through this one. It does look like the players are actually ready, hence the speed by which we're going through this segment. Halvor, what do you see going down here?
Pretty much standard vetoes from both sides. LDLC doesn't play Mirage at all. Yeah. It's just completely not a part of their vocabulary. Godsent as well, they don't like Cobblestone. So far it just all makes sense. LDLC, they have 2 picks as their second vetoes. That's either Nuke or Train, but they know that Godsent doesn't play Nuke either. So, I guess they're playing into the hand of Godsent by the fact that they don't play that map and remove Train for themselves, which is also, not necessarily a super strong map for LDLC, but for Godsent, but a decent one.
Playing into the hand of God, Maradona.
Well, ooh. Okay.
Natu, though. Overpass comes through. It was a choice between Dust 2 and Overpass Godsent, making the executive decision to be taking it into Overpass. Now, arguably, Overpass is one of the maps that requires a whole lot of structure on your T side, a whole lot of leadership. And
Definitely does.
I feel like that's our primary storyline, right? You've got Existence and Pronax head-to-head, quite literally.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot about map control. On T side, you want to take over B short. You want to make sure that you're flushing the cities down the toilet in toilets, as it make sure that they're going to have to retreat all the way back to the spawn, which means the cities won't have as much information. Gives you room to execute, gives you room to run fakes, whatnot. So that's the name of the game in Overpass.
Players are ready, so let's start talking predictions nice and quickly then, gentlemen. Godsent, I mean, this is actually probably not so easy to predict.
It's a tough one. For me, like, this is the moment where Godsent kind of has to deliver, right? I mean, if they don't, like, where do they go from here? Are they just going to drop a nuke on the team and just explode it? Or what are we going to do?
I mean, you can't see past Godsent, surely, in these predictions. I assume, yes, LDLC can do damage, but everything just points towards Godsent being a great team.
Logic says that Godsent should be a clear favorite. Just if you stack up players versus each other, if you just take experience into factor, if you take into just anything really at all except for current form, which is albeit a pretty big one.
Unless it's an actual wizard.
Yeah.
Like an actual wizard.
Yeah,
that's going to be like the coolest battle ever. And it's not going to play out on the scoreboard either. So I said that in the pre-show. I'm looking forward to this match a lot.
Give me a team name, Halvor.
But even so, I'm still going to go with the Godsent.
He's desperately trying to sit on that fence. He's like, I don't want to do it.
No, I'm actually pretty... I'm convinced that Godsent are going to win.
And Natu.
I have to go with Godsent. Same factors as with Halvor. I mean, there's no way going around it.
Yeah.
And so I'm just going to go ahead and, because I do predictions now, go against you. LDLC are going to take this one. That's right. Watch the French guys go, and hopefully I can continue on our scoreboard. 100% accuracy, me and Halvor.
Yeah.
We have only had one game. All right. I say LDLC, the rest say Godsent. Let's head over to our casters and actually find out what they're saying. Guys, what's your predictions over there at the desk?
It's going to be a tough one. I would have to lean it towards Godsent, though. Still,
Yeah, it's an easy one.
I think the analysts put it pretty well. Is that everything should point this one to Godsent unless
come join me.
they drop the ball again.
I
Risk, come join
am
me.
seriously considering joining you.
Yes, do it.
I'm going to say it's going to be Godsent, but I'm going to say it's going to be
Logical.
Yeah.
very, very close. It's going to be 16-13, 16-14 for
Yeah.
sure, because this team from LDLC, they've been playing so well lately. They did not get to win at ESWC and their home turf, but in that tournament
Got
they
second.
were so good. Yeah, exactly. They lost in the final, but the way that they just got there, and the games before the final as well, they played very, very well.
It's nice, though. It just seemed like everyone here at the minor is just acknowledging that LDLC are a team not to be trifled with, not to be messing around
definitely.
with.
I mean, they've got components of being a decent team,
Yeah.
right? They've got some individual skill. They got a great leader in existence. So I mean, obviously you have the tools in the shed.
We have the tools in the shed. We got the tools at the caster desk as well. I'll let you guys run away with it for now.
Thank you very much. So one player for me that interests me, and I want to see how he performs again going up against some really big names, is actually Twanu, who I've actually had the pleasure of casting a couple times. I think the last time I saw him and specifically casted him on a LAN was like the World Championships, but last year. So this was like back in 2015, and he was like, well, this was like during the online stage, if I remember correctly. But he was one of the bigger players that I noticed coming out of that. So I'm interested to see now how he performs against like some of the big Swedish stars.
Yeah, definitely. Him and also XMS, in my opinion, is one of the guys to watch. Of course, everyone's going to be talking about his existence because he has this great experiences, this great leader. But on the scoreboard, he's not going to be very present. He's very present with the team, but scoreboard-wise, it's going to be up to a guy like Mistu or Twanu, as you mentioned, or XMS even to bring it in. And looks like we are seconds away from starting this one between Godsent and LDLC, and we are on Overpass as well. So this is going to be pretty interesting. This is a map that, of course, as they talked about on the desk, has a lot to do with structure, has a lot to do with team tactics and executes and stuff like that. So seeing these two great minds go up against each other, it's going to be a feast for CS fans.
Absolutely. Well, it is looking like we're getting into the knife right now. Still a little bit of room to talk, but JW, Pronax, Lekro, Schneider, and Flusha will be jumping in for Godsent, and then LDLC. Well, we'll see how well they can go up against these titans, as you call them, of Swedish CS. Not all of them having earned that title yet for the Godsent side, but still looking for it. Just haven't found that click as of yet.
No, exactly.
Push them to the next level.
And then I think with Lekro, they hope to be finding that click with him because, as they talked about in the desk as well, they need a strong entry fragger, and Lekro could be a strong entry fragger. His aim is phenomenal, and his game sense is really great as well. So the question is he going to be the one thing that Godsent are missing right now? And if that is the case, we have a Godsent team that could be world beaters in 3 months from now. Well,
it looks like LDLC are going to claim the knife round here, which means more than likely starting off on the CT side, getting them a little bit of an edge there. Interestingly, it went sort of against my own grace in the last map, where I was like, oh yeah, T sides are going to figure out how this one goes. Now we look over here to Overpass, and you think, okay, CT sides are going to be very, very important in figuring out who holds the big key and the big advantage here. And again, that all comes down to a lot of the leadership, how well they can spread it across the map, how well the IGLs can actually get the read as far as where the Ts are consistently taking this, and that's the very interesting sort of mind game aspect that I'll have to chime in on every now and again as the map continues here, is how well are these leaders kind of driving their teams against each other.
One thing I'm also looking forward to is seeing these, basically the force-ups from both teams. Okay, if we see LDC is getting a big lead, Godsent are struggling for money, they're running Tech 9s maybe on the T side, how are they going to execute those Tech 9 rounds? And how are the CTs going to play around? Okay, if they're going to be on a 5-7 buy or something like that, how are they going to position themselves on these quirky rounds where you can't really run the usual strat book? That's something I'm really looking forward to. We do see, of course, 4 armors on the CT side, 2 flashbangs on Alex, of course, that one kit that you always need. T-side Pronax has 1 smoke. Just 1.
We see beyond this, though, the rest of them actually working their way into the lower tunnels leading over to Connector. Pronax might get spotted early on here. He's looking for quite a few of the players, too, beyond this one, but oof. Dink down to 54 HP, so he will have to back out of here. And that's actually a very aggressive amount of control being taken by LDLC, moving out through Monster, making sure they don't get that initial staging area. The problem is, though, is that Godsent are going to react to this one very quickly. They've moved up, they've already cleared out the bathrooms, and they're up the steps up to the A side already. Existence, beautiful one-tap, though. Just Story Snyder on the way in, trades roll in, but Existence finding a second one. Mistu also picking up one against Lekro. And Godsent, they've tried to keep this up with an aggressive pace, but it hasn't worked. Now they're down against a 2v4 disadvantage.
Oh, and there we go. The smoke goes down to get that bomb, of course, in their hands again, the terrorists. JW is still in a very advantageous position. Let's see if he can jump in and get the kill. No! Once again, Existence is triple in this round. Just absolutely destroying Godsent. He's gonna get the 4th as well. And I was talking about Existence not being the one showing up on the scoreboard, and he just made me eat my words. That was brilliant from him.
Great accuracy coming out from him, and good reactions from those guys too to really back up and play that against that. All of a sudden, just the pace that Godsent tried to take up to that A bomb site. Great reactions, great adjustments, and overall LDLC with a strong hold to start things off with a pistol round victory.
Yeah, might be that Machine will be the most accurate analyst on our analyst list.
I mean, I think
it's a bit early to say that, but still.
I think Machine was just trying to keep the show a bit interesting, to be honest. But you know, I'm sure he'll have a different opinion should they claim this one.
Definitely. So JW right now in focus with that deagle in hand. We've seen how much damage it can do, and in the hands of a player like JW, who has incredible aim, he can definitely take some heads down.
Well, we see Godsent now spreading their wings across the map here to the rest of LDLC. Again, that's that aggressive control that we saw back in the pistol too, and they're going to move this out through the alt tunnel. Mistu moving in, picks up that kill against Pronax, and well, there's XMS finding a second one. They're chaining it together quite quickly. Tanu also taking down JW. There's a response from Lekro at the very least, knocking out XMS, but Existence chiming in yet again, knocks out Schneider, and very quickly after that, Lekro will meet his end.
Yeah, very unlucky that they didn't get the Existence kill there. He was on 10 HP in the end. Just one more Tech 9 bullet to the body and that would have done it. But in the end, it's only going to be one kill from that investment from Godsent there, the one kill from Lekko. And of course, right now on your camera there was RDL, the coach of Godsent, also a pretty legendary player in Swords terms at least. Was at the end of that game one of the best players in the world and one of the best players, if not the best player in Sweden as well. And now he's coaching, so definitely a strong support structure for Godsent in this one.
So I'll take us into the trash round though. Godsent not expecting a whole lot from them, but very quick and very decisive style of play still coming out as they go all the way up through connector, working their way into the bathrooms. They've left, I think it's Flusha behind there in the connector to watch out for players on the flank, but he's it's only going to be a few seconds behind. They move up through the bathrooms, but then they swing it around real quick. Back down the steps. They have to hold for a minute here because the Molotov, and the problem is they open this door, XMS is waiting for them, so not sure what the game plan is and was here. But it's not looking too good currently. There's XMS chiming in with 2 kills. He will finally get overwhelmed as he runs out of ammo. JW grabs the kill. Now they're out here, but grabbing additional kills is going to be the ultimate issue as Alex, I think that is, has moved in on the flank here and has got some of these guys from behind.
So smoke goes down to block him off, but look at that, Mister coming in from behind. He's going to take the early chance, going for the second one as well. Lekra is close by, and well, this is just mopping time for Mistu. He will take out the last 2, and that will be 3-0 for LDLC, of course, on the back of that pistol buy. And here comes the first buy round. This is going to be interesting. What are Godsent going to do? What kind of strats will Pronax pick out of his big bag of tricks? And how well will it affect LDLC?
And we'll see here now as the buy comes in again. Similarly, nothing really out of the ordinary here for the first buy from them. Just picking up the AKs. No op to be seen. And for the most part, opening things up with a pretty typical push too. Everybody working their way over here out towards Playground and want to hold additional positions. And they've got the one player working his way down through the lower tunnels and the one guy moving up to Monster to try and fend off any extra aggression. They'll have to be cautious of that since it's been a common theme from LDLC just in those first 2 rounds or so to actually push out and try to knock that guy out. But doesn't seem like it's going to be it doesn't seem like it's going to be happening here beyond going into water, which is not all that uncommon for the CTs to take control of that by sending 1 or 2 guys in there.
So right now we are on site with JW, who's going to go out and challenge Tuano here on long. Tuano's posted up with the AWP, so JW coming in from a lower angle will probably guarantee him the kill. And there we go. Not much to do for Tuano, of course. That is a very vulnerable position. If you give that map control to the terrorist, then, well, he goes down, and that is the advantage to Godsent. Big chance in this one as they are gearing up for a split A push.
And they slowly creep their way in there now. It is going to come down to Alex, who is positioned on this site, but now the op goes into the hands of Godsent. So Alex, this is a very tough ask of him. Thankfully, he doesn't have to worry too much about the bathrooms because Existence is there. At the very least, he'll get early warnings with the pace that Godsent's been playing with this. Not one to creep up to the site, but it seems like now is a little bit different. However, they're going to be able to see the smokes. I mean, Alex, though, he's peeked out, but a smoke saves his life. JW doesn't spot it initially. Alex, what are these shots? He's destroying the entire hit. Oh, no! Even gets that third one. Switches over to the pistol, shuts it down, and he's going to get that last one too while completely blind. Eliminates Flusha. Huge play from Alex, and which is a simple SMG. Shuts down Godsent here on the first gun round.
Did not lose a single point of health. Not a
Amazingly.
single one. Absolutely insane from Alex, of course, being, well, he's living in France as far as we know. He speaks French, so that's not a problem, but he does have that UK flag.
UKCS.
Gotta represent.
They
Gotta
gotta
represent.
have something.
So 4-0 for LDLC. Godsent doing the the Deagle Eco round. Let's see what they can pick up from it. Of course, we do have once again Flusher by this position here that Pronax had in the pistol round. By the fence, just checking that no one's rushing monsters, so they're not going to get flanked and lurked on. The rest of the team just making their way. Just seem they can find some openings. JW is probably going to go and challenge, but he's going to be up against Twanu, and even with the smoke down, Twanu can hold the position that he wants, and there's just no way that JW can one-deek the AWP here. And yeah, shut down. Pronax is going to be the first one to die. Second guy coming in now. Double molly going down as well, and it's just, yeah, not open for business at all.
That's a nice angle that Twanu is able to hold there. Takes on JW along with Pronax. Godsent trying to fish out some kills here with these Deagles, but nothing really coming out of the water currently. Schneider creeps his way up there. Looks like they are going to try to mount some kind of a hit onto the A-bomb site, but they're already kind of looking for it, and Twanu just continues to shut it down. There you go. Finally, a Deagle shot rolls in from Flusha, able to take down Twanu there after he picks up 3 kills, of course. The job very much so already kind of done here, but Flusha's got a good angle.
Yeah.
He just spotted the player jumping up to the box. If you can catch Alex doing that again, there's the opportunity for frag pickup, but now this dude's going to be pushing out there. Schneider actually grabbed him from the backside, but Alex retrieving the downed op. He picks up another additional frag against Flush here. It's all left to Schneider hunting once more, but with 30 seconds on the clock, he's going to have to make a move soon or just fall back and save it. It's looking like LDLC, especially with the bomb on the ground there, sitting in full control of things. They'll just push him out. Nice team play. For pretty much a textbook there as LDLC pick up the 5th.
Yeah, definitely. So now we have a look at the economy on the T side. They do have the money. They can get that AWP onto JW. On this map, pretty sure on the T side that they do play AWP on JW, because on maps like Mirage, they actually favor Snyder with the AWP on the CT side. So it's interesting to see who's going to get the AWP in this round. It's not going to be anyone. It's going to be 5 AKs for Godsent, which could be a sign of them wanting to run something fast, wanting to run something explosive, and do a big execute with a bunch of flashbangs.
Well, we'll get into it here now and take a look. Let's see with Godsent how exactly they're going to try to push themselves forward. And again, it's very direct, it's very straightforward, very easily readable if LDLC were playing it forward.
Exactly.
But problem is they're not doing that currently. They're holding back, so they're not going to be fully aware of this push just yet, I imagine. Godsent will have a little bit of surprise to it, but they're certainly not being quiet, which won't make it that hard to detect. As they move in there, they'll look for that first kill. They actually have caught Twanu out in the open. There's where the pace of that finally works out for them. There's like the opposite. Not going to be able to adjust that quickly to these hits, and all of a sudden they're flooding into the bomb set, but they haven't sent anyone towards long, so Existence is a huge flank opportunity here. Catches that first kill, going for the second one by Semi, will not pick it up, but Alex, again, bursting out of the bank area here. He's already picked up 2 for himself, brought this into an advantage, and the bomb's gone down in an irretrievable position currently. He's found an angle. There you go. Schneider getting knocked out. Alex dominating this A site once again. It's all left to Flusha currently, but he's not down yet either. One pickup for him, knocks out Alex. 1v2 setup here. He's got a player behind that dumpster as he looks for it. Can't shut it down though. XMS will end the round, and it goes 6-0 for LDLC.
As you said, Alex has been an absolute monster on that A-bomb site. He's just been locking it down every time they try and go there. This time, of course, he didn't survive, but he brought 3 frags home for his team. And, well, if you're holding a bomb site 3 frags, is pretty much, well, that's a perfect scoreline from him, and he's just doing so well. You do see it in the replay again, and Exist is just wow. Did my teammate really do that? Oh, that's pretty sick. But yeah, Lekro, of course, on the Galil here. A bit of a scrappy buy from Godsent. They wanted to string something together, so they don't want to get behind 7-0. They're buying up here.
Is everyone in charge of catching like the very slight movements of the facial expressions of players? That was.
Yeah, that's PGL production value.
That was on point right there. Look at the boost coming in there, and it fails horribly, actually. Flusha able to catch the boost up there, and Alex will get knocked out. It's one of the big players here from LDLC, so could bode badly for the guys here if he continues to be the heavyweight that he currently is for this team. And Flusha nicely played here, over in water. He's able to even detect XMS pushing him out for Monster there too. Picks up the second kill, currently just dominating things. He even grabs that third one. Misto pushing out Flusha with a perfect read on the situation, just single-handedly clears out 3 players at the B-bomb site. Yeah,
this is just Flusha's round. There's no way around it. With 3 frags and all of them being on the same bomb site, there's just not much to do here, really. Twanu now forced into, of course, saving this one. despite they're in the lead 6-0, he still has to think about the economy for the coming round. So he's probably going to go ahead and try and save this. But the Terrors, of course, knows about the economy. They know they can hunt him, and they know how much it will hurt if he goes down. But now they know where he is. Flusher goes down. Perfect round from him. So he's pretty happy with that round. And JW shuts down Tuano, so he will not be allowed to save the AWP.
So with that, finally, we see the Swedes get onto the board here. Something to work with, but obviously still very delicate with losing a few of those players that we have to see the revives come in. Thankfully, it's actually going to be rather light, though. Schneider, I believe, gets an assistance unless the UI bugged out on us there. Probably did bug out, but we'll find out in a moment there.
And now we do see the LDLC force buy, which of course, as usual, in the teams that Existence he captains, he will be the one to take the 5-7. He will be the one to make sure that everyone else gets some decent weaponry, and then he'll take a 5-7 himself. That's just how he runs, and he's actually pretty good with pistols against armor as well. His statistics are not bad at all there, so he's going to be able to do some damage. But right now they have done an interesting stack. Look at this overview.
What? Well, they got into the site and they found the point. The good news is they're going to be ready for retake. The problem is they've just spotted Existence. JW's moved out, and he's interested now. He's looking for more back over here. He's certainly. Oh, Alex just gets destroyed, leaping down from the barricades up on top there, destroying him. And I believe that's going to be a very early save call.
Yeah.
LDLC with an interesting concept, but just torn apart very quickly by JW there.
Yeah, the plan was to basically take over B Water and then work from there. But as they took over B Water, the Terrorists just made their way through Monster onto the B side. And there's not much you can do there, really. Definitely not if you lose the two flankers to an AWP GW and just takes them down. So good round, good execute from Godsent, good read. Not just walking in. LDLC once again 2 rounds in a row now taking a gamble and losing out on that gamble.
And with that, obviously, again, the money's still going to remain in a bit of a delicate spot, so don't imagine the investment to come in pretty much at all there for either Alex or Existence.
No.
Maybe able to get dropped the pistol from a teammate, which looks like it is going to be the occurrence here, but JW spotting it. I mean, they may have the one benefit they may have had there is that they're really early, early lined up here for retakes, but even that would have been a bit of a stretch considering they kind of would have all had to come in from construction. Wouldn't have been the most optimal situation, to say the least, with how quickly Godsent took control, and I imagine with the amount of time they had to get into post plants too. It just goes out of hand so quickly, there's not a lot LDLC can do to control that.
Electro on Galil here will actually take a bit of damage from the flames. Alex trying his best with the 5-7. Will get the first one, but now it's pushed back. XMS close range with his rifle as well, but Pronax trying to make his way around the corner. He will not. He misses that spray completely and will be taken out. XMS still holding this flank, or still holding his angle, excuse me. Mistu also with a double of his own, and that is a good hold from LDLC. Flusher last man remaining. Can he do it for his team? Well, he's got a double, but this seems like an impossible mission, and LDLC will bounce back and win that round.
So with a good pickup there, they preserve their lead. They get to keep themselves going strong, but they are not out of the hot seat just yet. Godsent is still plenty of capital to work with here to be able to go for a rebuy into this 10th round. They're picking it up once again, and they're going to come back just as strong. But now, interesting concept from LDLC coming out. They're going to go for the double op setup, which can prove to be very, very strong on this map if they're positioned properly.
Yeah, they have some really, really strong sniper talents on that team. Tuan and Mistu both incredibly strong with that rifle as well. And actually, some of the other players can also do it, can do an off AWP time and time again. So a lot of sniper talent on this team. A double op setup is something that can work wonders, especially on CT sides, a map like Overpass here. And Tuano going a bit aggressive here, just looking for frags, not finding them, and then eventually rotating back. Clever play from him, not wanting to overextend himself.
Again, they slowly creep up here. Tana is actually going to find himself in a bit of a precarious position here. He doesn't start to fall back soon, but he seems to have a good lock in the situation. Shifts inside just as they're coming up the steps there.
Oh.
The problem is Schneider here now as he walks out. He's in a position up on the bench. Tanu can't even react to that. There's the first stop going down to the ground. And these are the plays that open up the floodgates for Godsent to just rush into these bomb sites here. Existence, they're moving out, tapping away against Pronax. Knocks him down. I don't think he has a single kill yet to his name, unfortunately. Pronax this is, but as they move up there, Schneider finding 1 and 2. Beautiful headshots from Schneider. And again, all of a sudden the tables have turned once more, but keeping these players in the open is becoming a problem. Existence picking out another one. The round's not done yet. The bomb, they also have to fall back to retrieve that. So Godsent have not been able to confidently push into this site. With Lekro being down to 18 HP, they're going to make a last-second decision to switch this over to a B hit.
And here is XMS with the AWP. Locks down Flusher. First man trying to go into that bomb side. JW and Lekro remaining. Lekro only on 18 HP, so now they're both low, but JW with a wonder headshot, and now it's all on Existence. 1v2, but they're incredibly low on health, so he can actually go into the side and do this. Let's see here. 1 flashbang and a kit is what he has The bomb is rotating off. Smart decision from Godsent. And now Existence wins that duel, but the bomb is going to be planted on the opposite bomb side. It's going to be JW with his orb. Existence trying to get the 4K in this 1v1. Let's see.
Ooh. Semi's in the way there, so it does allow JW to get away, but Distance has a lock on it. 21 HP here, too, but the problem is the plant situation is very good for JW currently. The tap away, though, is going to force JW out. Now he knows for sure he's somewhere in the bathrooms there. I think he spotted him peeking out again, too. He's going to stick this, too, but JW's on the way. He can hear him, and there you have it. Existence playing that well. JW just a little bit too loud in the way that he tries to figure out that 1v1 there, and Existence is a big round. 4 kills for him, the clutch as well, and it allows them to go 8-2 against Godsent.
Yeah, it's been the two unusual players that has really been fracking it up this game so far for LDLC, which is Existence and Alex. Usually you look to guys like Mistu or XMS or Twanu to get the big frags, but Existence has been doing incredibly well with the fragging so far in this game. 12 kills, 4 deaths, and actually also 3 assists, so kudos to Existence doing well.
And with that, of course, propelling LDLC forward more and more here into the lead. Godsent are going to push out, but now look at how aggressive
what?
LDLC are being here.
This is some next level strats coming out of the mastermind himself, Existence, and this is an interesting stack. They also have Twanu very close by, holding this angle with the AWP, but if he goes down, that's going to be incredibly hard. Luckily for LDLC, Twan is locking down frags left, right, and center. But Flusher coming in now. Could be getting the double as well, and he will lock it down. 3 against 2 now. 1 man advantage for Godsent. Flusher, the man behind it. 2 frags to his name already.
Again, these interesting plays from LDLC tend to bite back a little bit more than they end up working out. It was kind of going great for them in the first couple of rounds here when they were playing it aggressive out from the B-bomb site. The things they're doing now just don't seem to be working out. Now they're forced to split. Now the round is certainly not over, but it's going to require a hero play from either Misto or XMS, and XMS is certainly going to be the player up to bat here in just a few moments. Godsent with the pace they're taking this, though, and if Misto can clear this out, he can actually be in a position to assist and possibly allow this to come back into the 2v3 odds, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen. And XMS, that's a risky position he's playing towards now. Out in the open and currently looking the wrong way. He might find himself dead before he even has a chance to react to it. Spots it, and they both line up, so he gets a 2-for-1 trade. That's the best situation he could have asked for, judging from the positions of his opponents and his teammate. Now Misto is going to have to pull off the 1v1 against Lekro. He's seen the nade come down from up top, or he should have been able to hear it at the very least, so he knows which direction he's coming from here, and he spots him, but oh, Lekro's allowed to dip, but he's dinked down to 13 HP, still manages to close out, though. He finds the headshot, takes down Misto with that Godsent, finally pick up a third.
Yeah, the new man, Lekro, coming in with a clutch. It's very important for him to get running confidence-wise in this team and in this tournament as well. So now he's going, it's going fine. He had the clutch. Godsent are on 3 rounds now. They can start working their way back into this game because they are on a deficit. They are 5 rounds behind LDLC, who has been doing well so far. Also, we need to see, well, Pronax pretty much getting some frags. It's okay to be behind frag-wise as an in-game leader, but 0 frags in the first 12 rounds or 11 rounds, that's not good.
No, not at all. So I think only finding like 1 or 2 assists in the mix there too. So
yeah,
not even really just getting unlucky with the finishing bullets there. Just not really able to connect anything at all. And the strats obviously aren't coming out really well either. These aren't really super advanced strats we're seeing at the moment from the Godsent side. Very direct, and I mean with plays like that, it's certainly not going to help. XMS pushing wide out into the open, finds Pronax. They almost take down Lekro too. He does trade it, but he's not down at 17 HP. Shot again down to 14 now, and also some additional damage connecting on the Flusha. So they know for sure they should be able to detect the bomb off that one, so they should know now that the play is going to be currently working its way towards B. Whether it'll rotate as of yet, though, is yet to be seen.
This is actually a really good round so far from LDLC, who did not invest that much into the round, and the boost is going to come in. Oh, they're not spotting over just yet. Oh, that's just unlucky timing for LDLC as they boost over the exact time that the door closes. For Godsent, this is very good because Snyder has opened up the opposite bomb site. They have gotten into post-plant position, at least 2 players, and now will be a 3v4 retake as the bomb comes in now. Existence are readying his troops, and here is an interesting boost. 1 frag surely going down.
Oh, he almost got the second kill too on the way down, but he picks up the frag, and now moving out there, catches Lekro with a nade in hand. Just doing Existence, wasting no time at all. Godsent, they don't even expect this pace from it. And look at how far back Flush is now. He has the plant position, but he's got no flashbangs, nothing to scare them off the bomb currently without having to peek himself. And there he goes, out into the open and instantly destroyed with an AK. Missed out, an instant headshot, and that will allow LDLC to find a 9th. Mistook, excuse me.
very important round for LDLC. The investment, as I said, was not a lot. They had 2 players and 5 sevens, and yet they managed to get the round against the fully bought up Godsent. They had 1 player on a UMP, but that's how it is. Sometimes with 4 AKs with full equipment, LDLC still managed to take it out. And we see the economy is not great for them yet. They're in a 9-3 lead, but they're still having to go out and buy FAMASs for Alex. Twanu probably get a weapon drop. He's not going to stick with that USP the entire round, surely. And on the other side of things, Godsent on that eco.
Godsent back down at the bottom of the barrel again here as far as their buy is concerned, and things will need to change very quickly here in this half. Much like Space Soldiers back on the last map there, if they want to have any chance to get back into this game, things are not looking good, and all of a sudden, the split comes in now. They're playing it very, very separate across the map here. May actually be able to punish some of this aggression from LDLC as they're just going back to moving up towards water. And Lekaro has certainly spotted some of it, but again, when the push comes to shove, he unfortunately loses the initial volley down at 12 HP. Whereas XMS himself is only loses about 40% of his.
So yeah, Alex just holding the smoke, and now he's going to push through it. He hears the footsteps from Lekaro. No, he's low, and he's going to get in and get that frag and get that first man advantage for LDLC. Of course, now it makes the job even easier. They know they're on a pistol round. They know they have a one-man advantage, and they have pretty much still utility to use. They have a couple of flashbangs, even a Molotov on Twanu. So looking very good for LDLC. Probably going to get on around number 10 here after this one.
And Existence sitting back here now again, waiting for the pressure to roll in from Godsent. He doesn't detect JW moving up close, but look at that great support system set up there. Alex takes the further back duel, and then Existence just handles the player that surprises him for the front a little bit there. Nicely done by these guys, and unfortunately it doesn't look like Godsent are going to get anywhere. They've tried to a bit of a fake over towards that A-bomb site, but it doesn't seem to have worked. XMS is still down here waiting. Nobody checks the pit. Down goes the bomb. Actually may get caught out a bit, but Flusha has been pushed back. This will buy plenty of time for the rotates to roll in here, and there's no additional reason for either XMS or Twanu to get out into the open with their low HP. They should be able to handle this. Oh, nice flick from Flusha. Looking for another one here. That's a little bit of a toughie, though. However, as they push in, he looks for one more shot. Will not connect, and we will see XMS claiming that final kill.
Yeah, very unlucky round for the Godsent guys. They got two people on the CT side down to 3 and 12 HP, so just missing those last 5 to 10% of damage, and then it would have looked very, very different with perhaps 3 kills coming in instead of just 1. But it's not going to work out for them. LDLC are playing perfectly like a team on the CT side. As you said, the support system on the A-bombs have worked out perfectly, but aim-wise, they're also hitting their shots, and that is why they have this lead that will probably surprise some of the people watching at home.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, Godsent moving as a big, solid group, and very quickly across the map, I should mention, too. All 4 of them just zipping through Playground currently and working their way over towards Long. There is going to be a player watching out for that pressure. He won't be sticking around for long, but he does detect some of it. That's Twanu, who immediately falls back over to the A-bombs and prepares for the worst of things should Godsent just try to basically truck their way into that bomb site as quickly as possible. And
also to note, LDLC are playing very safe when they are, of course, not doing like weird stacks somewhere. When they're doing their standard, they're playing it very, very safe, and at the slightest sign of aggression from the T side, they just rotate back to the side, and then they have the support systems, they have the utilities, use each other, and they just hold these sides, and it's working out perfectly for them so far. Right now, 2 players going a bit too aggressive down towards Toilet, not really liking that because they will get caught off guard here. So that's actually an example of them doing something which they haven't done in the last couple of rounds, getting aggressive in a round like this and losing at least the bomb plant to that, and perhaps also the round.
They're so low, though. Schneider and JW with a combined HP of 14. Pronax, though, holds the line. 2 kills in this one for him. Finally showing up to the table here when it matters as well, and XMX will look to clutch. The odds are not looking so good. Not only does he have to deal with these 2 players in the bathrooms, but he's also got 1 more sitting in the backside, which he's failed to detect further down below the bank. The smoke comes in. He'll start to push his way back up through the steps here. He's got the first peek, so there's the first player being taken down. He dives in, and he does locate the bomb. The defuse coming in now, and they're going to knife him. So, nicely done from JW. We've seen that type of play go wrong many, many times, but for the first time in actually quite a while, it goes pretty much perfectly. So yeah, props to JW for not messing up the knife in the smoke.
And props to Pronax for getting frags, and not just frags, but important frags, impact frags in this round, getting them in the situations where he's securing a 1v3 or 3v1 basically. So Pronax finally getting on the board with the 2 frags there, and now things are looking up a bit for Godsent. They got that round. Can they take this last one and make it a 10-5 half as we saw it in the first game? That could be possible.
Well, taking a look at things here now. As Godsent again sending their players not as one-sided of a push coming out from them this time with all 4 like they did in the last round over towards Long. This time they're spreading them out a little bit here, and Arbs are going to take their time with things. Alex trying to be sneaky, but It's already been spotted. Not a lot of damage onto him, though. He tries to move out there to find Schneider. It doesn't work out. He's got that Molotov to hold him back if he wants to. With only him there, it may not prove to be the best use. However, he's going to be challenged and ends up dying. It may just be worth it anyway here. Schneider gets smoked off, but he's going to counter-react to that with the Molotov. The problem is Molotov also hitting onto him. Schneider just goes all in on that spray, though. Finds Alex to the smoke. Blinded completely by the follow-up flashbang from Existence there, but unfortunately Existence himself doesn't want to push. It's Tanu that strikes first for the LDLC roster as he finds Lekro, but even he, too, is going to be flanked out by JW there. So he's basically allowed to push into that site for free. The bomb is still sitting over in the lower tunnels currently. That shouldn't be too big of an issue to get it back up and around and into this A site, but the problem is it's also going to buy a lot of time for LDLC to get in position for a retake.
A lot of time for sure, and LDLC might be thinking about, okay, maybe they're rotating and playing B instead, but yeah, just putting all the eggs in one basket and it's not working out. Pronax is holding the angle. Pronax actually doing really well here. Just holding this angle, making sure no one crosses. Mistu coming in now, and he could get the double. He will get the double onto Pronax as well. And now this is doable for LDLC. It's a 2v2, and the bomb is not yet down, as we talked about. That rotation.
But wait. Look, they're going to leave the site. They didn't even see the flusher was hiding around in the corner, so look, the site's still open.
Wow, it actually works out. That is very lucky for Godsent.
Somehow it works, and now they're going to realize the huge mistake they just made. They got back the site, they again now given it up, and now they've got to retake for a second time back over here on the A-bomb site. It works out 1-for-1, but then Schneider rolls in at the last moment and picks up that last kill. Some very quick action to end things there, but it will work out for Godsent, and they will be able to pick up a 5th.
So once again, we will be seeing the 10-5 half coming in. Godsent finally in the last 2 rounds playing well, as we saw in the first game of today, where Space Soldiers grabbed the last 2 rounds in that first half, and then they went back and actually won the game. So could we potentially see the same here coming out of Godsent?
I mean, absolutely. There's certainly a possibility with the Godsent's players. It just seems like things starting off a little bit rough there.
Yeah.
Taking some time to find their footing.
Definitely, but hopefully they have everything locked down now, and everyone's warmed up, everyone's getting in with the frags, and we are ready to start the second half of this second game of the PGL EU minor between Godsent, of course, and none other than LDLC.
Yeah, and I think the other thing that kind of takeaway here too is a lot of the rounds that Godsent actually are able to pick up, I think, come off of mistakes from LDLC. Yeah. Like you mentioned, when they're trying these kind of weird strats, these big stacks that don't really work out. At least in my eyes, I think it was like 2 of the rounds where they tried that and it just ended up it has ended up biting back in a really bad way. So in theory, if they didn't do those and they just continue to play things to the standard, it could have been, you know, like a 13 or 12-3 scoreline in favor of LDLC had things gone a different path. But already into the pistol round action here. That's going to be Schneider teaming up with one of his teammates there as they move in. But the problem is they've also got that monster pressure to deal with. So this is looking like a round we had back in that last half there. But this time it's Godsent on the CT side. And actually, they're not going to stick around. They're not going to take the chance of that fast retake. They're setting the bomb way up towards A.
This is genius. I absolutely love that.
Run it in there. They should be able to find the plant, no problem whatsoever. But at the same time, Godsent are going to be quick to move in here and try to stop them. There's a quick kill that comes up from XMS that takes the duel in the open against Schneider. He'll look for another one. He's got Pronax in the open, and Pronax not looking so hot recently, so that is going to be a kill that he can get. Unfortunately, caught mid-reload. Flusha finally puts an end to XMS's reign, but now it's into a 2v2. They certainly can pull off this retake. Both Tanu and Mistu are down very, very low currently. Just a few shots needed to knock them out, and Mistu's not even in the site. He's gone down below to watch out for flanks.
That is a next level position for Mistu. He will surely be able to rotate back now because Tanu has spotted at least 1 and there's 2 spotted as well on that bomb side. JW taking the duel, but it will be Flusher trying to go for the defuse, of course, while JW was taking that duel, but there's no time and he'll have to face and then eventually die off. So yeah, that was an interesting T round coming in from LDLC. First off, taking that rush B and then going basically to the other bomb site. That was brilliant from them.
LDLC making up there for that little bit of a rotationary mistake in the last one, and they pull off some trickery themselves in this pistol to be able to keep their lead going. There is the chance, of course, for them to be upset in the second, but Godsent's investment's actually looking pretty tame currently.
Triple CZ.
And Pronax and Electro just going for the deagle pickups there. Well, you do have Schneider pushing his way out towards long. Looks like he's going to meet first contact more than likely. His players are watching out for that currently. Depends on if he decides to actually go through with this push or not. But the LDLC guys, you can immediately see a different tail to their T side here. They're taking it much more slowly, even to take control of things. But the problem is they've also got to be careful of these aggressive pushes. A quick trade will come in, but these situations are not necessarily horrible for Godsent to be able to find these, limit the numbers, especially if they can continue to flank them. As we have another one possibly coming out at the moment. Up the steps over there from the connector. We do have JW in a very, very good spot to net some kills, and as he moves in, there you go. Lines up the angle against Alex. He'll take him down, and now he can just fall right back to the site, and they've got a man advantage to work with here.
So JW on the C set as we know him and as we love him. Getting the damage done. Twanu picking down Flush and will surely take down JW here as well, and that's going to be the 3v2. Make that 3v1 as Lekro is the last man standing with the Deagle and the dream to clutch this one. And it's not going to happen. 12-5 for LDLC. And we talked about Godsent having a good couple of last rounds in that first half, but Pistol going the way of LDLC. The second force round from Godsent also going the way of LDLC. Now they're on the eco, on the trash round. They have to win this next bye.
Yeah, absolutely. And also, I mean, the good news for Godsent at the very least is they did manage to do quite a bit of damage. They're knocking, I think, 3 of the players before the end of that one round. In fact, the only reason that it really is like brought back is because Twanu grabs his 2 kills back over in the bathrooms. If that doesn't end up happening, then I feel like that last round goes very quickly out of control into Godsent's hands, and all of a sudden we're looking at 11-6 at Godsent trying to round the comeback there. But balance was restored, much like it was kind of on the pistol round there. Twanu sort of acting as the equalizer. LDLC going to try to go very quickly into the V-bomb site, but there's quite a few players from Godsent waiting for them there. So Misto has to do bit of an about face and has to kind of adapt a different plan here to make their entry into the site, which is going to rely quite heavily on Monster. See Schneider, that was going to be lining up a flank, but they are slowly clearing this one out. So this hit from Schneider needs to happen very quickly. Unfortunately, it seems it's already happened a bit too late. He may be able to surprise just the shock factor of this one, finding at least 1 kill, but as soon as he grabs that, all eyes are going to be drawn to him.
Yeah, so technically they played that round as best as they could, Godsent. They got one guy on the flank who actually early on in the round could ensure that they had information that it was going to be a B push. They rotated 4 guys to that B bomb side and had the optimal situation, but they just couldn't capitalize on it. Did not get any frags, and of course it's very hard with the handguns against rifles, but still, Godsent doing the right thing, but not really able to get anything from it.
Godsent again, proving everyone on the desk and both of us wrong.
I said it was going to be close. I am probably a lot in the wrong here.
Yeah.
13-5, that is not a close result.
Basically, never put anything on Godsent.
It's kind of like the VP rules. If they're favorites, don't bet on them. If they're underdogs, bet on them. Like, just makes no sense sometimes.
Well, they're going to push in, and there's JW actually showing up. There we go. Looking a little bit better here now. Lekro to chime in after his teammate gets knocked out there over by the pole. Alex being the one to grab that kill, but LDLC wanted to try and take a page out of Godsent's book and go for a very fast and here. Just doesn't seem to have worked out, and now you're down to just Misto and XMS trying to work something here, splitting themselves up across the map with the bomb kind of stuck here in water too. You can certainly fall back and group up with Misto, but it seems like not the case currently. He wants to wait out a bit and then maybe redeploy into that site a few seconds later, pending on if Misto finds a better route.
One thing that I think Godsent needs to do, one thing they haven't done so far in this game, is that they haven't taken any timeouts. I am pretty sure that RDL has a lot to say, not in this round particularly because they've done pretty well so far holding their angles, but in most other rounds RDL probably has notes written down. So I'm wondering why they haven't taken any timeout. They have 4. They can take them. And I'm quite wondering what the idea behind that is. But yes, they're going to pick up this one surely, unless Misto and XMS pulls out a miracle in a 2v4 situation. But then again, Godsent, they're only on 6 rounds.
And Misto trying to sneak his way in here to look for those first couple kills. First exchange does not even go in his direction, however, so he's going to get knocked out pretty quickly, and XMS trades out one more, but he's stuck at the semi, hunting for that headshot over there behind the bank dumpster, but it does not play out. Lekro will take him down, and Godsent pick up a 6th.
Okay, so Godsent finally getting back into it. Hopefully they can string some more rounds together and bring this one a little bit closer, because this is not looking good for the, well, basically former legends. These are some of the players that have won majors in this Godsent team, and right now they are playing in a minor. They're behind 6-13 to LDLC.
Their first game.
This is a bit weird, to be honest. But then again, Godsent have not been looking great for the last couple of months.
Keep in mind, there's like the benefit of, I think, going directly through the 2 BO1s here if you can manage to claim this first game. But I think if you drop one, then you're going to have to deal with at least one best of 3 to get out of the groups. Whether that is the first elimination match or the decider itself, too. So you have to be very, very careful as this first match. To keep yourself in the upper bracket is very important. To be able to swing right through and get yourself an easy ticket to the bracket stage.
One thing that I've also noticed on the Godsent side is that they haven't really utilized the AWP talent of JW as much as they probably could. And I know he's been trying to tone that down a bit. He's been trying to get into the AK role more, and not just rely on the AWP, which is, I think, generally a good idea. But when you have a player like him, you should be able to utilize that. And you see, like, a player utilized it all perfectly was Twano there. 6 shot doesn't really make much sense, but he does get it in the end. And Snyder with a great shot. Close to getting a second one as well, but will... Oh, actually a third one, and there it is. There's the 3K for Snyder. Twano once again all alone. His double up kill has been basically the only good thing so far in this round for LDLC.
Twano, first shot that he gets is incredible through the smoke there too. Finds the
Yeah.
shots coming up, flush it, knocks him down. But as we found out in mid, there's no time for recovery in that position, so he will finally meet his end there. And again, the guys from Godsent, well, they're certainly down. They've got a lot more rounds to pick up before they can even tie this, let alone actually come through with the victory. But they're well on their way by finding a consistent string here and forcing LDLC to kind of take a step back and reevaluate what they're doing wrong for once.
Yeah, gonna be a pistol round. Tech 9 kind of force coming in from LDLC Shore now. And yeah, there we go. One deagle coming in from XMS. What are they going to do? Are they going to do the exact same thing as they did on the pistol? One guy short, 4 guys monster. It looks kind of like it right now. No, they're going to go all short and just wait. Nades out. Let's see. Just waiting for that Molotov. And then probably going to explode onto the bomb site.
And they've been spotted too. They're getting destroyed from up on top, I do believe. The shot's rolling in there, and it's doing some great damage to these guys as they try to push their way in. 1, 2, 3, 4 kills already. Existence sneaks one in there against Lekro. But beyond that, this round is already over.
Yeah, so that did not work as well as the pistol round.
I think that round, once people start dying, lasts about 5 seconds.
Yeah, exactly. But luckily for them, they can move quickly onto the next one and start talking about that, listening to the wise words of Existence and whatever strat he's going to be calling out now. It's going to be, well, it could secure them the 14th round, and they are buying up completely, of course. One guy on $300, but the rest of them, of course, buying everything they can. Mistu also with a Molotov, so they can use that to flush out a CT from his position and maybe use that first opening kill to take a bomb site. That surely should be the plan for LDLC here.
Alex is going to be the player looking over here towards the connector initially. He's got some support sitting behind him, I believe coming in from Existence to take control here. Steps is going to be the main contention point as Pronax sits back over there and waits for them to push in, as does Schneider, hiding in the cubby a little bit further back here. They'll sneak in, taking first contact here, and Schneider is actually denied, so the first kill goes their way. They don't manage to take down Pronax, as he's the one that actually came out successfully, and with that nade toss, it'll finish off Alex. They catch the trade, bring it down to a 4v4, and they have additional damage already done to Existence too, so at the end of the day, Godsent kind of come out victorious here, and JW looks like he messed up royally by jumping there, but he's able to recover his aim. Somehow still take down Misto, and now Flusha even waiting in a little corner there in the bathrooms. Takes down XMS too. Some good stuff from those guys, and Pronax strikes again from the steps and connector. Very quickly, LDLC are falling apart, and everything has gone down to Existence in a 1v4.
Yeah, so the round started really, really well for LDLC. They got the first frag by doing that 2-man team in that connector, but after that, it just crumbled. The whole support structure around the place just crumbled, and well, Godsent just took advantage of that. JW should probably not have gotten the kill that he got in water on short, but he managed to get that as well and push into connect as well. So just pretty much done and dusted in that one. Godsent picking up yet another round. Existence talking right now. Talking to his team, letting him know what's up.
So the first pause, I assume, is being used here now.
Yes.
First of 4. So plenty more that they can use. That's a combination of like 2 minutes still that they can have to figure out what exactly isn't working for them. And the scoreline is still somewhat forgiving for them at this point too. They're not necessarily in a bit of a tough spot yet. So taking it now before things get desperate, and that's a mistake I see a lot of teams make, is they still just continue to play when they have like a huge lead, never taking a timeout. At the very least, they are still using a few moments here, since obviously there's a pattern evolving. Godsent are consistently picking up rounds. They're not doing a whole lot to resist that. So being able to take the pause here while they still have quite a bit of a cushion is certainly something I can respect from the LDLC side.
That's what I love about LDLC. They play so smart, and of course it's being on having a guy like Existence leading the team, but in general, just them and their understanding of the game. I think you hit it perfectly when you said a lot of teams are not doing this, and they know how important it is to take these timeouts, despite being in a 13-9 lead, because that can help you so much. And here we go, one quick push once again. They try the exact same strat as they got demolished last time, and Lekro with the ace, just clean and easy.
Very quick ace. It's kind of one of the fastest aces I've ever seen in pro, to be honest.
Probably.
Despite the fact that eco kills, granted.
Yeah, eco kills, but
We gotta wait it.
Yeah, it was a quick one. As Henry G just said, I'm not gonna cheer for Ecofrax. I just don't. But yeah, look at this. We got on the replay, just spraying it down.
Textbook close out there from Lekro, and his teammate, I saw that over by Barrels, tries to steal the glory. Not gonna happen.
So there we go. Lekro, the new man in Godsent, of course, switching him for Crims over to Fnatic. And Lekro has not had a great game so far, has not had a bad game either, in my opinion. He's been kind of mediocre. Have not really seen that many entries from him on that T side, so that role he hasn't filled out perfectly. But on the CT side, I think he's done a pretty good job holding the angles and holding the sites. So, yeah, pretty good job from him so far, but nothing out of the ordinary.
Yeah, and again, LDLC overall now have been developing a pattern not only in their gun rounds of dropping these consistently to Godsent, but I mean the eco rounds too. That's not the first time that they've been just utterly shut down and attempted pushing through construction. That happened in the last eco round too.
Yeah.
They tried the same thing and the same result came out.
Yeah, surely if they get another Tech 9 round, they're not going to go B again. That would be very weird, but look at that. Lekro just pushing out that great pop flash. I think that was from Pronax helping him out, and that is what Pronax, he does. He just helps out his teammate with grenades at all times to get these opening frags of the round, and it works out for them. This is pretty much a buy round, or a full buy from LDLC, and they just get a great start, but look at that Existence! Just answering back when the team needs him. And that's going to be the double kill from him, 3v3.
Look at how hard they're biting on that rotation, too. Everybody from Godsent's rotated up to the A bomb site. So now it's clear. Look, the bomb's going to walk right in here. Lekro is going to jump back down. Guys, I think something's happening down here, so he's got to call for these guys to move back in. But oh no, Alex, he snuck back over into CT man, and he's spotted Lekro, so now he's been knocked out. It's a clear sight. They're going to have no problem whatsoever finding the plant here. Godsent will wrap back down, but now they're at a disadvantage. And Alex is able to put himself in this little corner in the cubby. He'll spot guys jumping out of heaven. He can hear them if they're too loud, creeping out from CT man, and he's heard it already. He knows that they're going to be pushing out here. That's Pronax getting knocked down. He's at 5 HP, but a great flashbang sends JW barreling back into the big cubby over here. And now he's got a 1v3, and he's not even going to get a chance. A backflip as XMS finds the final kill, and LDLC will finally pick up a 14th round.
What I really like about what Existence said there, yes, we won the round. You can see it from his facial movement, but relax now. Like, don't get too hype. There's still a lot of focus that we need to pull through and win this one. So don't start yelling. Don't start going absolutely crazy. This is just round 14. We need 2 more focus now, guys, and we can take it out. And that's why he's such a good voice and a calming voice in that team. And LDLC now 14-10. JW on the orb now. This is what I've been looking forward to on that CT side. What difference will he make?
So LDLC sending pretty much all their players actually through the underpass here. Godsent are ready for it. Pronax, a great shot from him. Gets the second one, tries to go for a third, but overstays his welcome. Now Schneider jumping in, but he's only going to be able to get one. Tuano in Existence. Pick up the 2 trades there. They're still down by a player at this point, but at the very least they've cleared it out, and they're going to force the remaining members of Godsent to spread. JW, though, is a possibility to get a free kill, and he's going to capitalize on it. That's Mistu being knocked down, and with that, everything falls to Existence yet again to pull off a 1v3.
Well, let's see if he can do it. Probably not going to be the odds are probably not going to be in his favor for this one, but Existence is a great player, great experience with a situation like this as well. So, and he does have 3 grenades to work with, so it's not like he doesn't have a shot at all here, and the bomb on his back.
I don't think they're going to have any presence in the site, so assuming he plants it in a good position and not be caught out by Flusha, he should be able to at the very least guarantee that for the next round for his team.
That is true.
Economical reset is the scary part of this one, though. Is that supposed to let Godsent get back in? Not checking his flank, and oh, he doesn't even get the plant because of that extra delay from tossing out the utility. Flusha denies it, and with that is actually going to be a very, very big gain for the Godsent roster to be able to shut that down without a plant, and again force the reset.
Yeah, Godsent just battling it back, having a tough first half and a tough start to the second one again. But they are now only 3 rounds away from tying us up. Now 11-14 right now. Have the buy rolling. JW has a lot of money, so he can rebuy the AWP if needed be. LDLC, on the other hand, going for full 40 at 4 Tech 9s and 1 AK and some utility as well. So this is a big investment from them. They need to get something out of this round.
They're holding it back as they throw a few nades out there from the fountain position just down below in the upper tons, trying to see if they can catch 1 or 2 of the Godsent players out, and they almost do. They fall back at the last moment here, instead just having a heavy presence over here towards the bathrooms and connector like they have had for quite a few of the past rounds, and they will fall away from connector here, but JW is waiting for it, and there you go.
That's
an easy
beautiful.
flick for him to catch Alex. He's wide out in the open. There's nothing supporting Alex for that push, and it's basically a free kill for JW to find at the beginning of this one.
And that will force a rotate onto the other bomb site. JW holding that aggressive position and making sure that they cannot enter. Which also, of course, the CTs know what's going on. So they are rotating towards the B bomb site. It's going to be an all-out brawl here on B. Let's see Twanu trying to tap his way into the CT's heads. And he will get that first one. Bomb surely will go down now. Molotov drop in as well. So this is all-out warfare. The bomb has gone down. Snyder rotating from the opposite bomb site. Just want to check that out. And now the retake is on.
Now they move in, and again, there's hesitance on Godsent to do anything. Luckily, you saw him creeping up there, but it's mainly for an intel gain. Tries to take the shots at one of these players, but it doesn't succeed. And now they're letting LDLC get more and more secure, as they also have to wait for the remaining members of Godsent to rotate back down. Misto sitting over here, and he's going to be waiting for players to push their way out of the connector. They're all stuck behind smokes, actually. A lot of them are, I should say, on the LDLC side. And there's going to be Flusha. Finally grabs Tanu, and also Lekro pushing up. All of a sudden, they've got back full control of the site. Existence spraying with the tech now, but he's not finding anything at all. They're not even going to be able to stop this. Misto moves into the last moment, but it's way too far gone here. Grabs that one kill, but that means nothing here in the grand scheme of things. They've lost the round again. They just forced up. Money, they at least found a plant there, but they still really don't have enough for a full buy.
Oh, that is not good for Existence and the guys from LDLC. That round should have been theirs. Just missing with a couple of inches, as we saw there with the Tech 9 on the bomb. But a couple more inches to the left, and that would have been basically a kill, and he would have known exactly where the CTs would be defusing from, and eventually could have won that. So hard to lose for LDLC in this one, but they have to face facts and have to do a full eco now.
Believe we just restart that round real quick.
Yup. Just ebot things.
I'm assuming, I think someone called like a pause and it didn't go through or something like that. Or not.
I could actually imagine LDLC calling that second pause here. To give them, what is it, 20 seconds? Something like that in the pause. And then also they have this eco round where they could basically just stand and spawn. So they know exactly what they're going to do when they buy up next one. Because it's going to be one of the last rounds and one of their biggest chances to close this one out.
It's on the Existence trademark round right there.
Yeah.
Just taking it back and taking a moment here. Problem is the scoreline getting this close, even on these ecos. I mean, granted, they've had negative success on their eco rounds here, just trying to rush into the B-bomb set and getting utterly plowed through by the guys on Godsent. Certainly hasn't worked out for them, but even if they slow it down a little bit and try to add some tactics to the mix, they could at the very least try to do some damage so that when they actually pick up some rounds again, it might be an easier time of breaking their opponent's economy, and from that point forward, allowing them to close out those last couple of rounds that are needed.
So here we go. What are LDLC going to do in this one? Are they going to just go like cows to the slaughterhouse, or are they going to, as you said, add some tactics and then they're buying some armor, they're buying some pistols here. This is an investment from them.
It's an investment that makes sense, however. They're still going to be able to go for the buy on the next round regardless. They're buying down around the 2K mark for most of them, which still feasible to buy up full guns in the next round regardless of if they get a plan or not.
That is true. We do see Existence, of course, smoke and a flashbang. And what they want is basically they want Mistu to go in as the first one and hopefully get an entry and then hopefully get a plan as well and then hold in post-plant positions close range with the pistols. But the question is that even going to be an option? Or are they just going to get shut down once again, as we saw so many times here with LDLC on the T side? Oh, Alex! Oh, that is a beautiful shot right there. That is beautiful.
Curiosity kills the cat in the case of Pronex there. Here's the door open, goes for a bit of a jump, and Alex just destroys him. Nicely done from Alex there, giving them something to work with here. If nothing else, a little bit of a confidence boost. And the rest of LDLC still grouped up mainly outside of Long A and the party area over there. But we'll see in a moment if they decide to push downstairs after picking up that kill. It seems like it's actually not the likely case as they move in there. Alex, he spotted their player. Obviously, Godsent are going to be a little bit more cautious with the way they play this, but Alex almost knocked out by those nades. Now down at just 2 HP, so he's treading on very, very thin water now.
And they also have one player in the lurk positions. That is Mistu on the opposite bomb side, but it is going to be an A push. And once again, Alex with the deagle coming in hot. And Snyder and Flusha in cooperation will take down that frag. XMS once again with the deagle also coming in here, making the difference. Flusha answering back, and Flusha now in a good position. The bomb is down right now on this A bomb side. Mistu though, with that Tech 9, and now it's all on JW.
He's going for a long, long flank. The thing is, though, is he started this a while ago, and he's in position to capitalize on this, but Existence, I think he's just... No, I don't know if he has or not. He's going to be hiding in the corner. No, he definitely knows he's there, but the problem is JW knows he's there too, and there you have it. JW will take down Existence. The first kill's easy, but he used a lot of utility to get that kill. Now he's only got this flashbang and one more HE to get back into the site. Tossed way back. That will not really be connecting. Actually, I take my words back there. It connects quite heavily on the Mistu as he moves in, taps out of the bomb, and oh! Mistu, what did you just do? No! What? Oh, Mistu! No! He thinks XMS is JW and he shoots him right in the face! face, knocks him down and allows for the clutch. What just happened?
I am speechless. And it's such an important round as well. They had that one on lockdown. They had a 3v1.
Oh my goodness, I can't believe that just happened. That's a 3v1 clutch, including a team kill that comes out for Godsent. Starts off so well, considering how little the investment was from LDLC. They get full control of the site. They get it into a 3v1. They even know that that flank is coming.
Yeah.
And look, the disbelief on Pronax. Like, I guess we'll take that one.
Thank you.
But getting right into the action again here now. We already see Tawnu picking up that first kill against JW. Godsent are going to try to play aggressively, but that's bitten back a little bit here. Schneider, along with Flushes, still have a chance, however, to do some damage here. But they may be called off. Depends on what Schneider can find as he wraps out. Pretty free on the push, and I actually think he just missed those two guys in party there. That might have been a free kill if he decided to go for it, but they're paying attention to it now, as you can see from the lines.
Yeah, definitely. They should be paying attention. Snyder loves that position on the corner, and either just getting in and getting a cheeky position onto the guys in playground, but also doing the pop flash on his own and just taking that angle when he hears him step. So they should be wary about this position from Snyder. They know it's there. And surely they should not be caught off guard. And there we go. Flashbang coming over existence, making sure that his teammate can run in and not be caught off guard by that position. But they're actually not really gaining any map control over this. Snyder's still there.
They're going to move in there. And now Schneider waiting around the corner. Very quickly dispatched, of course, by existence. Schneider getting the one to be taken down, and this will allow them to push forward freely on towards long. Knocking out two players already. It is seeming like LDLC are taking this one a lot slower. Of course, there's still the long push, which is where Flusher is going to find his stride. Picks up XMS, takes him down, and the rest of the team is just going to group up over here towards bathrooms at short A and go for the push into the A-bomb site.
So there we go, Flusher with the AWP. Can he make the difference now? Flashbang coming in, smokes dropping as well. From the T-side, look at this aggressive AWPing from Flusher, but he misses the shot, and he will go down to Alex. And now it's only 2 players alive from Godsent. LDLC about to bring themselves onto 15. They should have done it in a round before, but that did not work out. Now they're looking to do it once again.
The 2 remaining players from Godsent will be going for this as they've wrapped back around here. Electro in position to start it off, but Pronax is going to meet first contact. Back over there behind the dumpster steps. And as he moves in, doesn't really net that much in existence. A beautiful shot, and even knows where the last guy's hiding out. Electro catches the trade there, goes for a second one over and long. He's got it, but that's just the beginning. This is the hard part now. Is he going to deal with a guy in bathroom, and he hasn't even noticed there is a player stuck behind the flower pots there. Alex, sneaky beaky-like, picks up the last kill, and with that, LDLC get their 15th round that in certain respects was robbed from them by their own teammate. Just 1 round to go.
Yeah. And once again, we get a game that goes all the way to almost 30 rounds, hopefully. Really happy with this, especially also Godsent battling their way back. In the first half, when they only were around 3 to 5 rounds, we were thinking, okay, this might be a bad game, but this has turned out to be a great game of CS. Of course, with some drama in the round before that, with the team kill and everything, but some great CS shown from both these teams.
Will move their way through this now as LDLC. That worked for them the last round, and they're hoping Godsent will continue with the more aggressive pace of things, but it's almost the exact opposite. A 3-man stack on the B-bomb site originally to start off this round, and then Flusha very held back comparatively to the positions we saw on the last round there. Just outside of the first doorway here in the bathrooms, and then Schneider in a pretty safe position over at long, too, to watch for hits. LDLC, however, are still going to take things at the same pace since it worked out really well for them in that last round. Just playing it as slowly as possible here to take that ground. Yeah, only the time that's needed.
This is something a lot of teams do when you get to round number 29, 28, 30. Play very slow, both on the T and the CT side, because you know that everything is on the line in these rounds, and you don't want to give anything away. You don't want to be the guy dying first in a round like this. So everyone plays very passively, and that will eventually bring us into an execute with 20 seconds to go or something like that. Right now it's looking like it's going to be onto the B-bomb side as LDLC are gearing up with 1 player lurking. That's going to be existence lurking. The rest of the guys will be pushing in here through Monster, I think, with actually 40 seconds to go, so this is not too bad actually.
As they move in there, actually Alex taking some of the initial damage. They know it's on the way. Rotations will start to dive down in a moment here as smokes roll in too. LDLC, they're not going to find anything up on that site. Godsent has really great positioning to try and counter this back out. Schneider's even working on that flank there too. That won't come in for a couple of seconds here, but there you have it. Godsent 3 quick kills. The 4th comes out from JW, and Schneider rolls in with the flank to find the final one there.
Just shut down, basically.
I mean, it's even on. We saw that on eco rounds multiple times. There's even in gun rounds too. They just can't go over the B site.
Yeah.
B site's easily the weakest point for them on their T side.
And the B side is the castle of Godsent. No one is allowed to go in apart from the Godsent players who pretty much just live there. And this is very exciting here. Round number 30. 15-14.
Look at this buy from LDLC too. Just Tech 9s, a little bit of utility
Looking
here
at
and there.
overtime, maybe. Ooh.
Starting it off early here.
So here we go. Snyder and JW on that double AWP setup. They do have as well a lot of AWP capable players on this Godsent team. We saw Flusher with it as well, but JW, of course, the star with the big green sniper rifle. And he's peeking aggressively, but no one's going his way. LDLC's going the other way around towards that B-bomb side. Flusher.
He knows something's up.
Yeah, his spider sense is tingling. He gets the triple. Fourth one coming in as well. Surely he's going to catch it. No, he's not. Mistu's actually going to get that one frag for free, but he will be shut down, and we go to overtime.
So Godsent round the comeback. 2 games in a row now. First off, it was Space Soldiers, and now it is going to be Godsent that bring it back from seemingly the brink. LDLC had full control. It took pauses. They took everything that they thought it was necessary to be able to take control of that match after a great first half, but it just does not work out, and Godsent are able to bring things back and take us into OT. Now, if memory serves me correctly, I think these are going to be MR5 16K overtimes.
So that is correct, and of course the Godsent players, having played a bunch of rounds here, just going to take a small break, maybe for some toilet things and stuff like that. That's of course acceptable. The guys from LDLC just sitting there and talking, and that is what they should be doing. There's no time to grab drinks, no time to go to the toilet. You need to talk about what just happened and how they're going to fix it.
And we've been seeing we saw there in that last stuff too, like we saw some of the effectiveness of just overall across the board. Most of their players dropped off. We saw some good stuff from Tano, I think, at the beginning of the half, but beyond that, in like existence a little bit there too, we really didn't see anyone else coming out to shine for that team. The stuff from Alex that was happening in the first up, gone completely. Didn't see anything really impressive from Alex in the second half besides like that one deagle shot that he hit, and even that's like a one-time thing. Okay, great, gets you 1 kill, you still lose that round anyway.
Exactly. So yeah, definitely LDLC, of course, if they want to, they could go to the bathroom, but they're not allowed by existence. That is the reason why they're not going. And if you know about existence and how he's been as a leader, he will tell you exactly what to do, and he will be right most of the time, and he will focus on him being right, and he'll just go through it all, just tell exactly how the round is going to play out, and that's what.
So he knows when you need to go to the bathroom. Is that what you're saying?
He's in control of everything. He
is scary.
He is the puppet master sitting behind everything in the world. I believe that.
I don't know if I want to be on his team, dude.
That's you have to.
You have to. Regiment right there.
Doesn't care. Just controls you. But yeah, of course, existence going through everything right now, so they are 100% set up for this overtime.
Yep, and we'll be jumping into it here in just a few moments. What an incredible game, though, just looking at it. And again, just the first 2 games in general here now, like I mentioned before, it's happened twice. And I think overall the prospects for most of the analysts and most of the community was that this is going to be a really interesting minor, and it's certainly shown that just by these first 2 matches we've seen here on this stream. The other game that I think was played off stream that we were able to catch a little bit, so that went to double overtime as well. That was the heroic game. So all these matches are very, very close. It's a very close competition in Europe, and I mean in general across the globe right now. There's not really like a clear #1 team anymore like we had back in the SK era where they were just kind of dominating everything.
Yeah, and that's what I really like about CS right now, is that all the teams are so incredibly strong and everything can happen, and it just makes every game seem so much more interesting. Like, of course, it's great to see a team that's just dominating everyone because they are really good, but if you have teams that are so close all the time, the games are going to be so much more interesting. And well, so far the 3 games that we had is a testament to that.
Yeah, and you can see, you can kind of see here too as well, just judging from the fact that, like, you already mentioned here too, the existence wanting very tight and controlled squad sitting behind him here. He doesn't want these guys to like go off and get off their edge here by using the bathroom or whatever. They want to get, he wants to keep them focused in the game. Obviously, reason behind that, they lost that. In theory, they kind of lost that second half there, but almost a completely different type of play style on Godsent. Very loose, very alright. They still seem like they're kind of in a good mood there. They rounded that comeback. I wouldn't necessarily say like the very show-offy, but very, I guess, confidence is a good way to say it. Very confident in their own individual performances in the way that they can still take control of this match and how they are the favorite ones here.
Yeah, overtime definitely going to be an interesting one. Not the first one, as you mentioned, heroic, and Epsilon also went into overtime as well, which in the end saw Epsilon take that win. And I think we're almost ready to go. All the Godsent players have returned to the arena, are set up now, so surely within a few minutes we will be going live with the overtime between Godsent and LDLC. Of course, if your friends are not tuned in, tell them to go watch this, because this is pretty much some insane level CS. Of course, you can always tweet at us at PGL Sports on Twitter. So get on there, get on Twitter, go tell your friends, and now we are ready to go. So here we go, Blue. Overtime between LDLC and Godsent, and wow, we in for a ride.
Yeah, indeed we are, and we'll get directly into it. Nobody actually doing anything crazy with the money, though. Godsent in the past, I've seen them do some pretty creative things when they have the 16k start, but obviously a lot more rounds to be played here, so you maybe want to take it a little bit more carefully. Just the single ops on both sides, no double up investments, no auto snipers, nothing along those lines to start things off here in OT.
So here we go. Early map control being taken by Alex, wanting to get into this area, which has been the point of contention for many a round in this game so far, but right now is not contested by anyone apart from Alex, who's looking to get that map control. Little chunks of damage being dealt from both teams here, just trying to jump and get some extra information. Molotov will go down now. Nope. Pronax just getting the info instead.
Spotting at least one of those players back over there inside of water, though, so they know the presence is there. LDLC, they're actually pretty much going to abandon it. They do the boost up here, too, but I don't think anything's going to be spottable from there for at least the opening volley. A bit Flusha, though, pushing right out. He'll get the 1 kill, but the Existence is able to recover and finds the trade. Goes down to a 4v4 very quickly, and this may be the key. LDLC needs to get into the side, or at the very least get the confidence to kind of start that take. Plenty of players are waiting for it, though, and the longer they wait, the faster these rotates will roll up to the bomb site. There's already one that's arrived here. The second player that initially went up from Godsent has gone back down, I believe, towards Heaven currently, but he is ready, and that's a very short rotate if he moves up. However, XMS, I think he spots the shadow, moves up, catches the player behind the sign. That is going to be Schneider that's taken down. All of a sudden, things are looking really good here for LDLC to just slowly take control of the site as they move, and they really only have to worry about this player behind Semi. There's one more by the steps. There's Tuanu, though, picking up an additional kill. Lekro responds from behind the dumpster and dips away just in the nick of time. He's only at 12 HP, so he survives his encounter, but both of these guys being stuck behind it. XMS, no, he doesn't get a single bullet. He somehow survives, but however, XMS just going to go all in there. Pushes out, knocks down Pronax, and unfortunately, Lekro will finally have that 12 HP knocked off of him by Existence as they pick up the first round here in OT.
That was a very, very slow push from LDLC, but also they're just very confident on each battle and just playing it slow and just taking the challenges when they come and just winning most of these challenges. Actually surviving with 3 players also going to be very important for the economy. Of course, we are playing 10 rounds here, 5 on each side, so economy is going to be a thing in this overtime. Right now, JW on the AWP again on the CT side, but he's missing flashbangs. He has no flashbangs right now. So already now the economy is playing a bit into Godsent. Let's see here, aggressive peek from JW. He won't need any flashbangs, but no, he misses the shot and hits the second one. Luckily for him, can he double up? He will double up. Existence goes down as well. And now this is a 2-man advantage. Make that a 3-man, make that a 4-man advantage. Godsent are just wiping the floor with LDLC.
And XMS, they're trying to pick up anything that he can find over here by Party. There's 1 kill netted in his favor. Flush is still going to be waiting, though, and he'll get the final blow. The trade rounds come in, and Godsent bring it up to 16-16 very quickly after we see the initial success of LDLC.
I was just getting a bit afraid, but then JW comes back with this double here. And there's a reason they call him J-Dubs.
Why is that?
Because he gets the doubles, of course.
I'll give you like a 6 out of 10 on that one.
Well, it's a start. I'll get there. I have a whole weekend.
That is true. It is just us for the whole weekend.
Oh, well. Right now, Tuano, of course, again, as we mentioned, he has been playing with this AWP. He has it again this round. Hopefully he can face off against JW and we can see some awesome AWP duels. LDLC now. 5 Molotovs as well, investing into the damage dealing part of that supply. Hopefully they can use them to flush out CTs and get those opening entries into the bomb sites.
They'll move themselves over here out towards long, too. 2 of them taking control there. That's going to be Existence and XMS pushing up for that one. Flush out resisting it, however, as he moves in, but all that flashbang. Oh, it hits perfectly, but he still gets the kill. Takes down XMS. That's going to be Existence now, further out looking for the trade, but Flush up playing it safe. And actually, just as I say that he moves in, but Existence gets the read, knows that flashbang's coming, and takes him down. And Tuanu finding another kill here, and all of a sudden, Alex surprising JW up on the site, throws out that HE grenade before going down. That's not going to mean much. They still moved up, they still got full control, and there's not a whole lot these last 2 from Godsent can do.
You know, this is so back and forth between these 2 teams right now. every single round is just dominance from one team, and then the next round, the opposite team just getting back in there and just dominating the entire round. Lekro trying to do his best, opening up this retake with a frag onto Existent, but still a 2v3, and they have no utility at all. They both have kits, that is good, but still, they don't have any pop flashes to get into the side. Alex trading 1-for-1 eventually goes down, and now it's a 2v1. Lekro with 27 HP, going to be a hard task for him, and he's not going to make it. Twanu gets this one in the end, and 17-16 for LDLC now.
And they take control of that now. Godsent still being able to invest, of course, but LDLC finds their footing here. But the consistency factor is still something that both of these teams really need to look for here. LDLC certainly looking a little better in the frag count there, as Godsent seeming a bit top-heavy, relying on JW and Flush to find the impact, and Schneider turnarounds there too. Pronex still trying to recover a little bit after that very poor start he had. I think it was down like 0-9 before he found his first kills.
That is true. Once again, of course, in overtime with the money we have, is yet another buy. JW on the AWP. And, well, Mistu already only on an incendiary grenade, which is perhaps not as good if you want to get an entry in towards the bomb site. You want to use that utility and you want to get an advantage. Snyder rotating back after an early push for information. Did not hear that much as the terrorists are just holding back, waiting patiently for the CTs.
Rest of LDLC, again, as you mentioned previously, just spreading themselves out here. Plenty of time to work within these rounds. There's no reason to rush things. Taking a pretty much opposite stance philosophy to what Godsent was using in their regulation side T-half. We'll get to see if they decide to change any of that at all when the sides switch in just 2 rounds here now. But Alex moving his way up there again. He's been allowed actually a lot of free room. There's nobody from Godsent out here on the short A approach at all. So Alex is ready to kind of go into the site with his teammates if they're prepared to push it. But there's heavy defenses set up from the Godsent side, and they're going to smoke off the initial kind of crossing area here. As Schneider sits behind Semi waiting for it, also having Flusha sitting behind the truck itself, too. And as they move in, first shots start to ring out here. They're going to deploy JW with a complete miss. He spots the players moving in there, and there's very little reaction to JW being found so far in the open. He's allowed that kill, spots the second guy coming in from long, and now he's just going to wrap around the smoke. Creating Existence there. He doesn't manage to pick up that kill, so still only 2 for him, but here's where Schneider's going to come in that corner, shutting out one. Flusha finds the second. Misdow can do nothing as he's completely surrounded. Godsent trades again, and as you mentioned, it's just domination rounds, back and forth and back and forth. And now back again into the hands of Godsent as they find their 17th.
So here we go, last round of the first half here in the first overtime. Who's going to come out on top? JW definitely with, once again, the double AWP frag and just helping his team to get this, as you said, dominance of a round back. And once again, oh, this is actually interesting. We do have a double AWP setup on the CT side now. Snyder joining JW as well, and both with C-sets as secondary hand weapons. So that's going to be an interesting combo. And here we go, push coming into the B-bomb site very quickly. Alex opening up, and Existence coming with a flank from short as well. 2 quick openings, and now they're going to have this bomb going down already. Unless Pronex can do something, but no, he's shot down as well.
Flusha along with Schneider are trying to move in for their quick rotates here into the site. But again, Molotov's right in front of them. They're not being given any room. The re-Molotov comes in, and no, Schneider is going to dive back into the tons now. It's another, like, dominating round, though.
Exactly.
Unless we can see a huge comeback here from Flusha. He finds that first kill, and Existence is very... Oh, no. Existence actually might get taken out by that if he can't get out of it in time. And no, he's going to burn! Twanu responding, though, moves in, shuts down Schneider. And Flusha at 7 HP, though. They will put an end to that one. Those two pick up the final kills, and LDLC comes out with the lead at the first half of overtime. Concludes there. 18-17 for those guys.
Definitely. LDLC looking with a slight upper hand so far. Let's see when they switch over to the CT side if they'll continue that Existence top fragging. This is something I did not expect.
I don't think anyone really expected it there as well. But I mean, like the frag count I don't think really shows the effectiveness of all players. I still feel like it's been even contribution for the most part across the board. I don't think it's been one player kind of carrying the whole team. Existence obviously finding Existence obviously finding a lot more frags, just kind of, you know, adding into his count a little bit there. But everybody's had their plays. Everybody's been able to contribute a little bit. XMS having some good stuff. Alex, obviously we've seen right at the beginning, had that big play with the SMG, the Deagle shots that were happening towards the end of the second half. Twanu has had quite a few incredible rounds with the AWP so far, and Mistu himself, well, unfortunately, he's had a bit less of a contribution as we saw that last round, but we still have seen some consistent fragging still from him as well.
Yeah, definitely, and that's very good for LDLC that they continue to grow as a team and frag as a team as well, and everyone contributes in some way, and it's just working out perfectly for them. To be honest, of course, we expect them to do well, but what they've shown so far is really high level.
Also, the very obvious thing too with Existence that allows him, I think, to come in with this much confidence and this much fragging power is the fact that obviously he's easily the most experienced player in the roster.
Yeah, definitely.
He's played against pretty much everybody on the Godsent side, multiple times, far more than anyone else on this roster has. So
Yeah.
I think he knows these players a lot better and is able to make sort of bouts of confidence come out there. He's able to read more than likely what exactly Godsent are going to be able to do because of that, since he's played against them so many times in the past.
Yeah, that is true. Just basically, when he was in-game leading in Titan, the amount of time Titan played the guys from Fnatic was just uncountable. Pretty much, there's so much data, and that data is stored directly in Existence brain, and he can utilize that at any point in time.
Oh, that's cool. Wish I
He's
could do that.
almost like a robot.
So a cool little thing they've gone on there, but Existence gonna get his chance to pick up. Oh, Existence wrecks two of them. He's gonna look for a 30 or 2. JW plays it out though, has some fun, catches the trade, but ultimately Existence just had a huge effect there. Not only does he get those, like 2.5 kills as he brings JW down to 38. Flush has been hit from somewhere else on the map too, but I mean they knew exactly where the read was gonna go, and all of a sudden Godsent, they gotta scramble, they gotta readjust exactly what they're gonna do, and there's still a man advantage for LDLC.
Yeah, it was genius. We were just talking about how how Existence was good at reading these players from Godsent, and he does exactly that. He goes into an aggressive position because he knows how they're going to play this round. They're going to play it very slowly. He can get into that position and easily take 2 frags, almost 3. And XMS now is going to close it off. Surely Snyder in a 1v4 cannot win this. They have the bomb as well. And this is a tough one for Snyder because he can just go in and, yeah, I'll try my best, but 99% chance that I'm not going to win this, and we're going to be behind with 2 rounds here in this overtime.
20 seconds on that clock too, really just trying for as much impact as possible before he is eventually forced back to save. Well, saving's actually not even going to matter here. Now let's OT. And I remember that too, and the half just started. It was 16k start. There's really nothing to save about here. So hoping he can catch 1 or 2 of these guys, but this dude not biting on that at all. And nobody else from the LDLC side. So it actually looks like he's going to sit back and just keep the AK in check for the next round.
So AK saved, Molotov saved, and Smoke saved as well. Godsent having some money to bring into the next one. Let's see here. It's going to be 19-17, and that was the play we just saw from Existence. And that is a focused man right there.
Very up close to the monitor too.
Yeah.
I've understood how people can play like that.
Some players just
Just like
I do this like myself as well when I'm really focused. When it's a really tight game, I just almost like with my head in like next to the monitor.
There's Existences and then there's JDMs. Everybody plays differently.
Yeah, some interesting types out there. Interesting theories.
But Godsent again playing it slowly now on their T side. Again, I mentioned this before, but their T side was, generally characterized by very fast hits. Like they knew what they were going to do at the beginning of the round, and they wasted, they didn't really pay attention to the clock at all. They just went for it. Didn't really mind the fact that they had an extra minute to work with at the end of most of those rounds there. They just tried to execute it. Only very rarely do we see them take the slow path on things, but this time it is looking like a bit of a different path has been taken, and they're spreading it across the map, just playing to a general default here for this T side. And LDLC also has their own bit of aggression. The one big difference, though, is that they have a short A wide open right now.
And what we saw happen many rounds ago is that one of the players from Godsent just walked through toilets and just absolutely wrecked Twana, who was on that position. He's now rotating back, so that's not going to happen. But as you said, that short is wide open, and it's just Existence trying to do something about it. And he does get that 1 frag, and he scares them away. You can rotate back to a more defensive position, and they're now 4v5. Or 5v4.
Godsent, though, are going to try to bite this onto the B-bomb site, seeing if they can make the hit. Time's getting a bit low, so they do need to go for the execute here now. With 30 seconds left on the clock, Stu and XMS are going to be the 2 waiting over here on B for them. They also have assistance coming in a moment here from Alex, too. And as they push in, XMS is waiting. Lecker is taking down his teammate, so he's got to react quickly, but it does not work out. Flush and Schneider find the next 2 kills there. That's XMS and Mistu both being knocked out. Existence and Twanu are the last 2 up and running. Existence is going to wrap around, but as he spotted this player sitting outside the smoke he has, that's Schneider. He gets knocked out. There's still a lot more work to do, though, in this 2v2, but thankfully for them, the bomb has only just gone down onto the ground. They've got plenty of time to work with here. But Godsent are playing it tricky. They're holding back a little bit here, and there's where Flusha is going to strike. Picks up his first kill, and Twanu has the shot lined up against Flusha, but does not find the kill. Lekro immediately shuts it out, and there's Godsent with another pickup, 19-18.
Getting close now. We are in round number 8 out of 10 in this first OT, and there's just 1 round separating these 2 teams at the moment. And frag-wise, of course, we can see, as we talked about earlier, Flusha and JW just leading Godsent, while on the LDLC side, they're a bit more close to each other frag-wise.
will be 21, I believe, will be the magic number to determine the winner here in first overtime. It ties at 20, it resets, and goes again until someone can get 26. And oh! The trap is sprung. Twanu gets destroyed as he tries to play it aggressively at the beginning of the round there, and JW immediately able to punish on that one. Gives them the 5-on-4 advantage, and well, now LDLC got to scramble around a little bit. They're just going to split it 2-2 on either site and basically wait to see what comes.
Yeah, let's see here. They're also splitting up the position, so one guy holding short, one guy holding monster here. XMS close range. We've seen him from this position many a time, and if it's defensive, it usually works out. Don't like him peeking at all in that position. He should just hold his position. That's what he's gone back to now. JW here trying to just edge out and see if someone wants to go for a peek and see if he can punish some CTs. That's not going to happen. On the other bomb side, we do see, as we saw for a few seconds, the boost here. Really like this as well, but it looks like it's going to be a B hit from Godsent.
Still plenty of time to sort of adjust for things here, so Godsent really bringing things down to the wire now as the clock continues to run out. The slow shift. The bomb still very decisively pushing towards Monster, but I think they're actually going to have a few guys out here of Connector to maybe toss if he smokes into the A-bomb site a little bit and make some noise. JW is just going to walk right up and destroy XMS, but Mistu is able to respond in kind. Takes down JW and brings it into a 4v3, and obviously Mistu knows what's coming so himself, so he's going to back away into the cubby. Just let that kind of roll into the site. Alex will get here, but Alex is peeked out wide into the open. Lecter able to punish that. One of them did sneak in and jump out, but he only gets one kill. He will be traded out by Lecro, and it's left to Mistu, who snuck away over here into the cubby a long time ago. No utility, 32 HP, and only an op to work with.
Yeah, that's not going to work out in his favor at all. And now we are tied 19-19 in this first overtime. Are we going to do exactly like Heroic and Epsilon and go to a second overtime? It is very possible right now.
Absolutely, as both teams now need to try and win this out from this point forward. It will come down to the wire once again, as there is a spot in this this upper bracket still to be decided here between LDLC and Godsent.
So here we go. A single op set up for both teams. Twanu on the CT side, TW on the T side, and pretty much utility for every player. So no worries money-wise for either of these teams. The question is, how well will the terrorists execute? How well will the CTs answer to that? And we do see a boost once again here. It is Mistu. This is interesting.
Mistu can see so much from over on top of this.
I have not seen this boost.
No, I haven't seen it before. I haven't seen it. Well, it's a bit of a risky one because if they push from construction, they're both dead.
Yeah.
But as we can see,
I have to put down that smoke for sure.
Yeah, they got eyes on it now. Mistu, this is such a good boost, but he's not seeing anything from it. Like all the spots that he would have spotted players, nobody's there from God, so they're just out of his glimpse. He's stalwart on it though. He's waiting for it. And he's going to try and see if he can catch Flusha pushing in. And has him. Oh! JW walks right out and just destroys the boost regardless.
The reaction
all that set up, and then JW just, all right, handle that no problem at all.
He's quite magic, that JW. Lecro here, just making sure that no one pushes him as the rest of his team are rotating around to do that split A hit from short and long. Twanu has to stop now, has to stop this rotation, and he's in the correct position. Lands the frag, now has to rotate to a more defensive one, and he goes for the repick. That is ballsy, and he gets the frag. Good play for Twanu. Will eventually be shut down, but still 3v3. It's all square now between these two, and no utility for the CTs to hold this, so they have to rely on their firepower. And the firepower is working out. XMS with the double to hold that side, and LDLC will be on a match point.
Twanu again with these big op plays, showing up to the table, brings that back after a bit of a poor start there as they try to go for that boost. Again, the kind of riskier plays that we saw in the first half, but then kind of faded away there. They try that again. It doesn't really work out, but thankfully Twanu brings it back, and then obviously XMS from behind semi there. Some good stuff from them. They saved that round from going too far south, and now they're sitting on match point again. They have the chance to recover on this one and take control of this matchup here and go 21-19 for the victory. We'll see, however, as Godsent still on a full buy, of course, and we will have to wait and see if the rounds continue to trade, this time in Godsent's favor, to take us into double overtime.
Big presence here from Godsent, getting that early map control once again, and looking like it's the same kind of setup as they ran in the round before, looking to go towards that A-bomb side. Maybe they're going to rotate back along the way, but right now JW is leading the forces, trying to see if he can open up with his AWP.
They're taking it very, very quietly too, just leading right up through short A to that site. And they've got players waiting for it. Twanu is going to be Stuck behind the sign here, looking for that push. And if no one goes into bathrooms, he could actually have himself a feast of kills if they don't properly smoke him out. They do that one. Look at, oh, he moves in, but that flashback's going to put a stall on it. However, he's still here. This is such a ballsy position that he's playing towards. And oh, no, it's the leg. Actually, no, I think it hits the wall. Brings him down to 1 HP. Lekro is so lucky that he's still alive right now.
That is incredibly unlucky for Twano there. Surely he should have had that frag. Smokes it down. And once again, this is the ballsy plays that we have been talking about. Going into peeking in a position like that. Let's see if Godsent will just run straight into his crosshairs. It is a big possibility, but he might be flanked from the other position as he gets that first one, as they know what's going on. He gets the first one. Smoke is down behind him. He will be caught by Pronax. And now they're going to push in towards the side, but LDLC already existent is sitting here in bank. He's looking to shut them down as they enter the bomb site. Surely Flusher will go down here, and that will be existing to get the frag. The one will go down, but surely LDLC can do this. Pronax coming in with one. Snyder going low as well. Oh, the HP are just diminishing from Godsent, and that will be it. LDLC will take it in overtime.
They take control of it. A good round from them. And again, it's Twanu that comes out in these last 2 rounds with some big ballsy plays, pushing out both in the same spot as well. A little wraparound over there towards bathrooms. They managed to shut it out. And with him coming out on top near the end, it will be LDLC, Existence's new squad, that takes control of this matchup and sends the Swedes packing down to the lower bracket.
That was interesting. The best part about this is that now Machine is our most correct analyst.
Unfortunate, isn't it?
Unfortunate. He's not going to shut out about this at all. Going to continue on. But yeah, big congratulations to Team LDLC. That is a huge win for them and for their confidence throughout the rest of the tournament. And now you have to think about what is going through the mind of Godsent.
I mean, we have to hope now that the I guess you could say the confidence, I'm going to call it for now, that they brought to the table at this event kind of goes away. And to talk about that a little bit more, hopefully along with the rest of this match, we can bring over the analysis desk into this conversation. I know Alex.
I like very much. Take a bow.
Oh, take a dab?
Yeah, thank you.
Jesus.
So we were just talking about the maths. That makes me 200% correct now, right? That's how it works.
In Alex math, this is 200% correct.
Yeah, do you guys enjoy that overtime?
That was actually a brilliant game.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, did you see the Mistu situation? How did you guys not scream?
I was just
lost.
I was lost for words. There were no words that could describe that situation. That's just.
I'm pretty sure we don't see British citizens winning against major players too often, do we? So I mean,
good God, yeah. Do you know how exciting it is to see a little Union Jack on the CS game?
You're not used to that.
No, and it's nice hearing Blue scream my name. Not the first time, I'll tell you that.
Alex!
Oh, wow. All right, boys, we'll leave you to it. Let's talk about this one. Thanks very much, of course, Risk and Blue. Natu and Vendetta are joining me to try and understand what on earth went wrong for Godsent and what did eventually go right for LDLC as they do pick up the victory in a best of 5. Best of 5? MR5 overtime. Gents, I think we have to start with regulation just because that should, and I think no one will dispute, should have been LDLC's, and it looked like it may have very well been thrown away by that 1v3.
It's hard to.
I wonder if we have a replay of that. I bet it's probably similar.
I would have liked to seen it from Mistu's point of view as well.
Yeah, what did he see?
Oh, yeah, well, what did... Yeah,
just
exactly, because...
to seeing someone go
But that's the thing, like, XMS the entire time in that situation was, like, he was planted in the same place.
Yeah.
The entire time. He just moved, slightly leaned to the left,
and,
and that was just the end.
Optimus, and I don't know.
It was...
it's called jitters, boys.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, for the better part of this LDLC team hasn't seen a lot of big pressure tournaments outside of Existence, obviously. So for them to make mistakes like that, it's bound to happen. But obviously, there's a time and place for it, and that's definitely not the time where you want to make a mistake like that.
The most English name I've ever seen as well, Alexander McMeekin.
Yeah,
dropping 4 in that round.
I'm curious to how do the French actually pronounce his last name? I want to hear it.
They probably just pronounce it Bordeaux.
Exactly.
Close enough. Just give him something else.
What was really weird to me, like even Godsent at the times when they got into the bomb site, they had the numbers advantage and everything. Yeah. They just never seemed like they would be able to settle down, like really get the angles correctly, and so that they would just be super comfortable in a situation where everything was going their way. Instead, you just saw LDLC just rip them apart left, right, and center. Yeah,
there was a ton of clutch situations, especially in the first half for LDLC that got them off to that insane start.
And also, I think one thing there is that I think it was like 8 was it 8-0 at most?
Went to 8-3.
There was a situation where Godsent went for just B push, and it worked out great. There was nobody playing B at that point, and then went for a second one against a situation where they knew LDLC didn't have a lot of money. I'm not really sure if that's your go-to play when you're playing against a potential force buy of just walking into a bomb site, because there's always going to be that risk that there is going to be a stack in that bomb site, and that elevated LDLC for a big run in that.
But a lead like this, you go 10-5 on the half, you win the pistol. That game should be said and done, right, Ben?
Absolutely, but we can see that what kind of individual prowess the various Godsent player has. Obviously, that was on display for the better part of the CT half, and that's kind of been how they've been. Their T-sides have been very lacking, really, ever since they got together, and the fact that they obviously had to start over again with bringing in Electro for Crims didn't really, help them in that situation, in that regard. And I think that's where we're seeing such a big mix, such a big difference between the two sides, really. And also, their T-side wasn't really... I wouldn't call it just extremely poor. They had good ideas, but they ran into the same issue each and every time, especially towards that A bomb site. The fact that whenever they get up to a certain point, like around the restroom area, they start taking damage without actually getting anything in return for it. So they might want to set up for an execute, but then you have Toynu playing aggressively or Existence running around the mock.
This was the round.
Oh, Alex,
I mean, he gets 2 in the site, right? It looks spectacular.
Yeah, what it feels to me
oh, no, here it comes.
That issue you described. Oh, yeah. Okay, let's relive this moment first.
So Mistu is
Eximus has been standing that in the entire time. So, and especially because JW taps the bomb as well, which at this point, Mistu should know that it's on the other side.
It's jitters.
Well, I mean, fortunately, the LDLC won. Otherwise, he would have been a very dark place for the rest of this event.
But this is something you mentioned because we do get the player reactions on replay and everything. The fact that you saw the only ones who were in disbelief in that round was Godsent, because he pronounced like, "What the hell just happened?" Yeah. And when you cut to Existence, he's just like, "That never happened. We're going into the next round."
He's already talking about the next round.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, and they did. They won that following round. It does show leadership prevails.
I think this all goes back to what Halvor was explaining there when they go for that A push and they kind of get stopped in their tracks, as there's been a bit of an aggressive presence from LDLCs that they just Godsent kind of seems to be lacking that entry power where someone's going to be there to make that trade kill right away, so that the push doesn't stop because of one player being aggressive.
And talking of aggressive, Existence was relentlessly, especially in the overtime on the CT side. You can see these pushes towards playground, pushes up long, and XMS even picked up a double up on the other side of the map as well. But, I mean, credit to where credit is due. Not only is he leading, but he's also giving himself enough freedom to do pushes like this. Existence is like the first to be drawing blood on the defensive side. Not something you'd say is something so characteristic of him, would you say?
And you can tell there's a significant difference between how he plays in this team, where he can also be kind of the focal point of the team, compared to Titan, where he doesn't put other people necessarily in the best positions to succeed, but does that actually allows himself to showcase this individual skill, because he was always a super skilled player individually. We never got to see it in Titan because he would always kind of sacrifice himself for the better of the team, and now you see him taking more passive roles. So whenever they do the B split, for instance, he's the sole guy coming up short instead of following the rest of the train on Monster, and that allows him to stay alive and not necessarily get picked as the opening pick every single time. And you can see that it actually pays dividends for them.
Yeah, I think he's greatest thing that he has in his gameplay is just his positioning and understanding of what to do in specific scenarios. Like you said, going short when he's other part of the team is going for another route. It's all about game sense, understanding what do I do, when do I go, and all that kind of stuff. And when you can utilize it, then it doesn't matter if you don't have the best aim in the world. You can compensate that a lot by positioning correctly.
And he did, of course, climb to the top of the scoreboard. We can take a look at it so you can kind of absorb exactly how players did perform. It wasn't necessarily an underperformance from anyone. I think Godsent may have just fallen by the wayside somewhat, but as you can see, only Pronax really was not in the 20-plus margin. Flusher closing in on 40. And all round, a very, very close game. Hard to separate the two teams, albeit after a very solid start from LDLC.
Yeah, no, definitely a close-fought battle. Godsent at this point has to be pretty upset about how it played out, though, because again, even though they have had poor form coming up to the event, they should be coming into this expecting to qualify. But
100%.
I mean, there's more than expectation. I think they always feel like they deserve it. It's
at this point, that they can't be that cocky to think that they deserve to qualify, given how they play, because they haven't played to the level of a major team, honestly.
MVP, existence.
Yeah.
How do I
The-
understand this? I'm trying to digest what these bars are.
There was-
Kills, deaths, assists, headshots,
Yeah, and you can tell-
KDA, and first kill.
For instance, the super high. The
Oh,
su-
thank you, Natsu. Thank you so much. I was trying to understand what the rest of them.
They
oh well,
are
did you see
in
the blue
comparison
one,
to
for instance,
others.
on first kill? That's JW. That's all the way on top because you saw
okay.
initially you had 10 first kills for Godsent. So it's I guess having different colors might might make it easier in the
Presented by
future.
Lenovo. There you
Yeah.
go. Okay, I got it. Roger that. All right, I've understood that, and we have actually got another winner locked in. So that means our next game is going to be LDLC Space Soldiers, right?
Yeah.
So we get to see that winners match. Of course, you win 2 best of 1s. You're in the semi-final. That is going to be something to behold. Seeing if Space Soldiers, after a little bit of a trip and a stumble, will be able to continue to get to the semi-finals and be 1 best of 3 away from a major spot. That's the beauty and the reality of this 3-day event here at the PGL studios. So we are going to take a quick break. But when we do come back, it's going to be time to see who will get themselves into that semi-final spot and closer to the lion's share of $50,000. Hope to see you back in just a moment when we do get Space Soldiers LDLC battling for a spot in the semis. You do not want to miss this.